Plastic surgery, while often pursued to enhance one's appearance, can sometimes take an unexpected turn. In some instances, the quest for perfection is a nightmarish road to take. From Hollywood celebrities to ordinary individuals, we'll look at 15 times plastic surgery went horribly wrong. Number 1. Holly McCulloch. A 28-year-old woman, Holly McCulloch, claimed that after responding to an Instagram ad for breast implants, she traveled to Turkey for the procedure. The ad revealed the faces of tons of celebs and famous people who had apparently gone there for modifications. Eager to join the club, she was ready to make her journey. By now, we know that anyone who goes there comes back with an unhappy story. She revealed that she paid $3,500 for the breast implant surgery and an all-inclusive stay abroad. She was convinced that she was in for a luxury retreat. Little did she know it was about to turn into a horror show. She underwent the surgery and was told it was a success. Except when she woke up, her breasts were lopsided. To her horror, she noticed that her implants had started protruding through the skin. How could that be possible? Not to mention she was overwhelmed with pain due to the size of the implants. Soon, the doctors realized they had to remove them immediately. On the downside, she was now left with loose and saggy skin. She had, after all, consulted a doctor and no one had advised her to change her desired implant size. Either way, McCulloch believed that it was the responsibility of the doctors and nurses to ensure her well-being after surgery. When she reflected later on, she realized she had her doubts about the clinic the second she set foot in the place. But she was too anxious and kept to herself. McCulloch claimed to have been sedated in an elevator and communicated with nurses through a translation app. Eager to rectify her mistakes, she decided to undergo the knife again. In January 2019, McCulloch chose smaller implants during her second visit, but soon after she felt severely unwell. McCulloch revealed that during her recovery, a 7-centimeter hole emerged along her surgical wound and it began oozing a smelly odor that reminded her of rotting meat. She flew back home and was rushed to the hospital, where drive-s discovered a large blister along one of her incisions. Despite being assured that her skin would heal, her surgical wounds began oozing discolored pus. McCulloch spent several days in a local hospital for infection treatment. However, the condition deteriorated even further and the wound kept getting worse. Then she once again was told the bad news. Her implants had to be removed because they were the root cause of all the problems. Later on, the NHS website had to remind people not to book retreats that promised cosmetic procedures. All in all, it looks like people only learn a lesson after they go through life-changing events. Number 2. Rachel Knapp. Pier. Thanks to people like the Kardashians, everyone has spent the past decade trying to copy them. Eager to hop on the trend and have similar lips was one person named Rachel Knapp. Pier. While some people were using bottle caps to plump their lips, she decided to go the extra mile. At the age of 29, Rachel from Leicestershire attended a so-called Botox and filler party after being enticed by an Instagram ad. The promise of lip fillers at a reduced cost of only £220 was too tempting to resist. Little did she know that this decision would lead her life to change. The beautician, attempting to address a scar on Rachel's top lip, mistakenly injected the filler into an artery, causing immediate complications. Even someone who isn't a doctor knows that injecting substances into one's blood vessels never ends well. Soon after the procedure, Rachel awoke to an excruciating burning sensation in her lips. To her horror, she found that her lips had swollen to 4 times their normal size, even touching her nose. As Rachel was rushed to the hospital, she was met with constant stares from medical staff who had never witnessed such an extreme reaction. 3 drive-s confirmed that the filler had been injected into an artery. There was just one decision everyone agreed upon. If the filler wouldn't be removed, she'd lose her lips. This terrifying ordeal didn't end there. Rachel's journey was marked by pain, uncertainty, and physical distress. She underwent a lengthy and agonizing procedure to reverse the damage caused by the misplaced filler. It took over 3 months for her lips to return to their normal state. After her scary experience, Rachel was sure she didn't want anyone to go through her pain. Her courageous decision to share her story raised awareness about the potential risks of cosmetic procedures. Of course, it also served as a cautionary tale. Through her advocacy, Rachel hoped to spare others from suffering her fate. She went on to join Safety and Beauty as an ambassador and spread petitions to ban people who weren't qualified from carrying out aesthetic procedures. Eager to not let her voice drown out, she made sure the UK Prime Minister was aware of unlicensed procedures taking place. We're happy that she came about, but there are more people who are ready to risk their lives despite knowing it's unwise. Number 3. Barry Fairbairn. One such solicitor caught everyone's attention when he had a cosmetic procedure go wrong. Barry Fairbairn's experience is a chilling account of what happens when you try to erase your laugh lines, and trust us, it's no laughing matter. Hailing from Leicester, he opted for a seemingly routine filler injection into his nasolabial folds, commonly known as smile lines. However, what followed was a series of events that would forever change his life. The first filler injection brought initial satisfaction, prompting Barry to return for a second procedure. Unfortunately, this decision led to a catastrophic outcome. During the second injection, the doctor accidentally bruised an artery. Initially, Barry downplayed the incident, failing to recognize the gravity of the situation. Post-procedure, Barry's face bore the signs of a botched operation. He felt horrible pain, which he described as incredibly intense, and suffered from alarming discoloration. It was a distressing sight, with the right side of his nose appearing black and blue. Despite the severity of the situation, Barry initially sought medical attention only after the pain became unbearable. As he made his way to the hospital, the full extent of the damage began to unfold. Barry was confronted with a shocking revelation. The skin cells on his nose were dying, and he needed immediate medical attention. He underwent skin grafts, but his nose had been permanently disfigured. Sadly, his story isn't the only one full of mishaps. Number 4. Farrah Abraham, reality TV personality. Farrah Abraham, known for her appearances on Teen Mom OG, has always been candid about her experiences with plastic surgery. However, a selfie she shared in 2022 revealed the extent she'd gone to. To her fans, her face was simply unrecognizable. In the Instagram story, Farrah could be seen in front of her festively adorned Christmas tree. Her skin appeared remarkably smooth and her cheeks and lips seemed noticeably plumper. After the image made its way to the Teen Mom Reddit community, some fans expressed worry about Farrah's altered appearance. One commenter expressed regret, wishing she had stopped after her initial nose job as they believed she was naturally beautiful. Another echoed this sentiment, saying she was stunning before all the procedures. Farrah has been transparent about her extensive plastic surgery journey since her debut on MTV's 16 and Pregnant in 2009. Her procedures have included a breast augmentation in 2010, a rhinoplasty and chin implant in 2013, and various attempts at lip and butt injections. Despite mixed reactions from fans, Farrah has often shared her contentment with her transformed appearance. In August 2022, an Instagram video featuring Farrah participating in the tortilla challenge with her daughter drew attention, with many viewers commenting on her noticeably altered face. Time and time again, celebs undergo facial changes that make them a whole new person. As of now, Farrah has not addressed whether she has recently undergone any additional cosmetic procedures. But knowing celebs, they'll never kiss and tell. Number 5. Sue Briddick. Sue Briddick, at 54 years of age, had decided to undergo cosmetic surgery in Turkey, hoping to reshape her body. She chose this option due to its significantly lower cost, only a fraction of what it would have been in the UK, but the aftermath will send shivers down your spine. The surgery left her with severe complications, including destroyed skin on her stomach, which resembled gangrene. The excruciating pain she experienced was beyond her worst imaginings. Even before the surgery, doubts crept into Sue's mind. She had expected thorough consultations, perhaps some markings on her body. Instead, she was swiftly ushered into the operating room. Upon waking, the reality was harsh. Her stomach was blackened and inflamed, a sight that alarmed even the attending doctor. After returning to the UK, Sue had to seek help from the NHS to address the botched procedure. Given how infected and inflamed her stomach was, she needed corrective surgery immediately. The tiring recovery process involved skin grafts that took an entire year to heal. Her breasts too bore the brunt of the malpractice. They displayed irregular scarring and an unnatural shape, far from what she had anticipated. By the end of it, she had vowed to tell people to never go to foreign countries for procedures ever again. Sure, the lower costs are tempting to most, but no one deserves to experience life-altering complications. Either way, botched or not, some people just love shedding the look they were born with. Number 6. April Brown. We all want to look beautiful, but few of us go to unimaginable lengths to attain our desired look. April Brown was ready to risk it all. Her journey from a successful salon owner to a cautionary tale about the dangers of unregulated plastic surgery is truly shocking. Motivated by a desire to enhance her appearance, April sought a buttock injection procedure from an underground practitioner. Little did she know that this choice would lead to a horrifying sequence of events, resulting in the amputation of her hands and feet. The use of industrial-grade silicone, akin to that found in bathroom sealant, caused her immense damage and sparked a massive infection, pushing April to the brink of death. Sadly, this is what happens when people trust their lives in the hands of untrained individuals. In the aftermath, April underwent an astonishing 27 surgeries to remove the affected areas. She felt her spirit was defeated, but she wasn't ready to give up. Soon, she learned that she even had to have her buttocks removed, as the infection had spread. Eager to rise above the odds, she began to navigate life with prosthetics, displaying a remarkable determination to embrace her new normal. Her story serves as a stark reminder that the allure of cost-saving surgeries in the black market often results in bad consequences. Now she says she has learned her lesson and never wishes to take her body for granted ever again. Number 7. Jocelyn Wildenstein. This is one elite whose face we've all seen. The media is no stranger to the New York socialite. In 2016, Jocelyn Wildenstein was charged with assaulting her then-boyfriend with scissors in her Trump World Tower apartment. She declared bankruptcy 2 years later in 2018, despite being reputedly worth billions. However, Wildenstein is also well known for other reasons. Soon, she became known as the Lion Woman of New York and gained fame for her extensive plastic surgery procedures. Her transformation made her a poster child for the potential risks and consequences associated with extreme cosmetic surgery. Reportedly, Wildenstein underwent numerous surgeries, driven by a misguided attempt to regain her husband's affection. Experts suggest that her procedures may have included a brow lift, face lift, lip injections for plumping, chin augmentation, cheek implants, or fat grafting, and upper and lower eyelid surgery. Not to mention, she might have undergone cathepexy, a procedure that lifts the eyes, giving them a feline-like appearance. Turns out her husband was really into cats, so she thought if she began looking like one, he'd go back to loving her. Of course, that didn't work out. If only her story taught people a much-needed lesson about self-love. Number 8. Jessica Alves. Well, this woman has undergone a remarkable metamorphosis in the previous 2 years alone. Jessica Alves has been spending thousands of dollars on cosmetic surgery since her teenage years. She was famously known as the human Ken doll back then, a title she used until announcing her transgender identity in 2020. Born Rodrigo Alves, the Brazilian star now based in London, gained prominence through reality TV programs centered around plastic surgery enthusiasts, even appearing on Celebrity Big Brother in 2018. Recently, she secured a dating show on Netflix, embarking on a global quest to find love and potentially the father of her future child. And to think she had spent so much money trying to look like Ken. Back then, she spent £650,000 on body transformation, which included removing 4 ribs and obtaining AB implants for a 6-pack illusion. So, how did she decide to jump from Ken to Barbie? Well, this pivotal shift occurred when Jessica dressed as a woman for a photo shoot years ago, leading her to recognize her true gender identity. This revelation then resulted in her undergoing more surgeries, including butt and hip implants. And get this, she even had facial feminization surgery, which entailed adjustments to her jawline, chin, and brow bones for a more feminine appearance. But what really shook everyone was her gender reassignment surgery, specifically penile peritoneal vaginoplasty, conducted in Bangkok, Thailand. This lengthy procedure involved using Jessica's body tissues to construct female reproductive organs. Now, following her transition, Jessica is totally satisfied and living her best life. For the sake of her health, let's hope this change is permanent. Number 9. The Living Fox. Pixie Fox dedicated $120,000 to resemble beloved animated characters. Her inspiration stems from the curvaceous figures of cartoons and Disney heroines, a fascination that led her to undergo a series of transformative surgeries. Fox, who aspires to look like Tinkerbell and Jessica Rabbit, underwent various procedures, including a nose job, eyelid surgery, brow lift, lip and cheek fillers, 4 breast surgeries, a Brazilian butt lift, permanent makeup, and most notably the removal of 6 ribs. This controversial rib removal, a long-held dream for Fox, posed a challenge in finding a willing surgeon. While the procedure was carried out by a qualified surgeon, it's unlikely to become a widespread trend, according to Beverly Hills plastic surgeon Dr. Mark Monet. Despite the inherent risks and extended recovery period, Fox was content with her decision. Having previously worn a corset round the clock, she could now wear even smaller ones. Currently boasting a 16-inch waist, Fox aimed to surpass the current world record of 15 inches. With time, exercise, and her ongoing lifestyle, she sure shall reach 14 inches. Despite her numerous surgeries, Fox still has plans for hip and butt implants, because refinement is a constant road. Fox emphasizes that her journey is not meant to encourage plastic surgery, but rather to convey the importance of pursuing one's dreams and embracing individuality, whatever form that may take. So, her 400,000+ followers are following her life, and all we can do is pray that people hesitate to follow in her footsteps. Number 10. Cement cheeks. In 2005, Raji Naranizing was at a party when things took a downturn. She was at a pumping party and received illicit injections from O'Neill Ron Morris, a person claiming to be a plastic surgeon, infamously dubbed the toxic tush doctor by the media. Instead of receiving proper fillers from a certified medical professional, she was injected with a mixture of tire sealant and cement. This unconventional procedure led to the formation of substantial lumps in her cheeks, lips, and chin. Raji, who was a trans individual, just wanted to fit in and look like a beautiful woman. Of course, given how unwelcoming people were, she disclosed her true feelings to a select few who told her about Morris. That's when they advised her about undergoing pumping, a crude word that just meant getting fillers. Regrettably, Naranizing felt too ashamed to approach the authorities, a response understandable given the high number of transgender individuals reporting mistreatment by law enforcement. Access to proper medical care has historically been a challenge for transgender individuals, due to geographical constraints or a refusal of treatment from Drive S. Clearly, Morris was profiting off this vulnerable community, and sadly, Raji was a target. Thankfully, under the care of Dr. Terry Dubrow and Dr. Paul Nassif, Naranizing eventually achieved the transformation she had long yearned for. Initially turned away in 2015 due to concerns about potential risks, the Drive S later curated a plan that took her health and changes into account. Then, through a series of procedures, they successfully removed the cement lumps from her cheeks, chin, and lips, allowing Naranizing to reveal her new appearance to her loved ones. But there are more people whose dreams of going under the knife are lifelong. Number 11. The fashion icon. How can we forget the fashion icon, Donatella Versace? Her glamorous and unforgettable presence not only overshadowed the models and celebrities she surrounded herself with, but it also concealed a surprising truth. From an early age, Donatella had been fixated on beauty and aesthetics. At the tender age of 11, she took an initial step towards metamorphosis by lightening her hair, all under the encouragement of her brother Johnny. Yet, this was only the beginning. Specialists disclosed that she had grown excessively dependent on Botox and fillers, jeopardizing her natural beauty. Plastic surgeon Dr. Steve Fallick confirmed that Donatella had undergone a shocking number of cosmetic procedures. From Botox injections to fillers and even laser treatments for her skin, she had tried them all. As for the outcome, Donatella's pursuit to elevate her face, eyes, and brows had earned her the rather unflattering title of human waxwork. Naturally, when people go under the knife so often, the public can't help but want in on the secrets. But the fashion guru didn't bend under pressure. In a 2010 Love magazine interview, Donatella revealed that she had never been a fan of the natural look. Although she did not openly acknowledge having had plastic surgery, her statement created more theories about her physical changes. Donatella then expressed her doubts about her natural hair color. To her, natural didn't exist. That further underlined her skepticism about what natural beauty meant for women. To her, the word natural was synonymous with the word vegetables and nothing more. Basically, Sticking to a strict diet and loving your natural looks wasn't something Versace identified with. Today, she looks anything but real. Speaking of unreal, check out this next person. Number 12. The Catman cat lovers. This one is bound to make you a bit uncomfortable. Dennis Avner, who went by the moniker Catman, hailed from Michigan. He was not only a computer scientist, but also a Navy veteran deeply obsessed with body modifications. The journey began when Avner, at the age of 23, received counsel from a shaman advising him to undertake a feline transformation. As he was Native American, he took pride in following the oath his ancestors had taken. So he decided to take on the name Stalking Cat and adopt this old tradition. This led him to set out on a path of extensive tattooing across his face and body, but this was just the beginning of his remarkable evolution. Collaborating with body modification specialists, Steve Howarth and Shannon Lorette, Avner underwent a total of 14 surgeries and spent tons of money on himself to look like a creature akin to a tiger. This included subdermal facial implants, a flattened nose, pointed ears, and astonishingly, even a mechanized tail. Of course, the nails were crucial to his get-up, so he spent months growing them and shaping them to look like claws. But that didn't stop him from still living a normal life. He continued working as a computer programmer and happily accepted the fame coming his way. His extraordinary appearance propelled him into the spotlight, securing appearances on prominent American television shows, including the iconic Larry King Live. He even starred in Ripley's Believe It or Not. In 2008, he earned the coveted Guinness World Record for achieving the most permanent transformation to resemble an animal. All we know is, he wasn't the only one who had a taste for the extreme. Number 13. Pete Burns, the former frontman of the British band Dead or Alive, was a figure known not only for his musical talent, but also for his crazy fixation on plastic surgery. Pete Burns spent his adult years in the pursuit of perfection, ultimately depleting most of his life savings. This journey of transformation began with a surgical correction of a broken nose in his earlier years. Back then, he'd hear photographers whispering to themselves how they'd film him from certain angles to avoid his nose being captured. So when his nose broke, he figured a cosmetic procedure would end his worries. Except things got a whole lot worse. From that point forward, Pete's determination to achieve a striking visual presence led him to undergo several enhancements throughout the years. He underwent nearly 300 corrective surgeries. People have a hard time recovering from one major operation, let alone hundreds. Naturally, he faced a few unfortunate mishaps that gave rise to infections, resulting in a distressing cycle of more corrective procedures. Eventually, Drive S told him that there was no end in sight to his obsession, but that didn't stop him. Tragically, Pete's quest for aesthetic perfection was cut short by natural causes, marking the end of an extraordinary and tumultuous chapter. Either way, some people love being unique and will do whatever it takes to prove it. Number 14. Michelle Williams. People have been flocking to Turkey for years now to get nose jobs at half the price. While it's a roaring success for some, for others, it's another story. Michelle Williams, a 46-year-old British woman, faced a serious situation following her cosmetic surgery in Turkey in 2020. Having undergone a cosmetic procedure for her nose, Michelle suffered a cardiac arrest after she was sedated, followed by 3 hours of seizures. This tragic event resulted in severe brain damage due to a lack of oxygen. Before her life came to a tragic halt, Michelle, originally from London, was employed as a primary school teacher in Turkey, where she decided to undergo elective surgery. Once she'd made the decision, her family supported her and waited for her to come back safe and sound. However, the good news never came. Upon receiving the distressing news of her complications, her family rushed to her side. Despite their dedicated care, Michelle remained in a coma for over 12 weeks at a private hospital in Turkey. Since then, Michelle has been discharged and sadly had more bouts of medical issues. But her family decided to sue the hospital for medical negligence and are involved in a tough legal battle. This is why it's so important to do your homework before you trust your life in someone's hands. Number 15. Lindsay Colosimo. This 38-year-old woman from Florida set out on a quest to modify her appearance as her 40th birthday approached. She chose to undergo a tummy tuck, breast reduction, and bum lift in Colombia. Little did she know that this decision would lead her to her worst nightmare. When 5.5 hours passed, her surgery was declared complete, but Lindsay woke up in severe pain and confusion. She realized that there were no medical personnel taking care of her, and soon other horrors started to reveal. Lindsay realized something was terribly wrong. Her legs had grown numb and a black spot appeared beneath her bandages. Despite medical reassurances, her condition deteriorated, leading to the horrifying revelation that 30% of her nipple had turned black and become dead tissue. Diagnosed with necrosis, a condition where skin tissue dies due to injury or blood supply deficiency, Lindsay's medical journey became too difficult for words. Now, she had to undergo corrective surgery. The doctors had to remove her nipple and milk ducts to stop the infection, but the nightmare didn't end. More wounds popped up, signs of infection haunted her, and fluid began accumulating in places it shouldn't have. Upon her return to the US, Lindsay immediately sought medical attention. Sadly, she had a bacterial infection and needed more corrective surgeries to save her life. Eventually, she found herself on the other side of the bridge. Despite racking up a medical bill that was more than she'd ever imagined, she found herself alive and healing. Later on, she'd reflect on how her desire for perfection led her down a dark road. Sadly, many people learned these truths too late.